Are you a bottle half full person or a bottle half empty person? Are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? Elaine Duncan, the Chief Executive of the Scottish Bible Society, spoke at our church AGM some years ago, and she asked us the question if we were a Tigger type person or an Eeyore type person. And if you don't know your A.A. Milne, that's a question about being a Tigger, bouncy, optimistic kind of character, or Eeyore, the slightly more gloomy, negative one. Which are you? I suspect not many of us have gone through the last 14 months of lockdown completely optimistic, and even the bounciest character has at times had pause for thought. Somebody once might have told you, come to Jesus and all your problems will be solved. And I believe that faith in the Lord Jesus Christ is the best foundation for life and the best way to live life. But the problem with come to Jesus and all your problems will be solved kind of thing is that it does sound a bit glib, and it does suggest that life as a Christian is just going to be a breeze. That you'll sail through life untouched by any of the other questions and problems that other people face. And so you begin, and you take it on with that guarantee in mind. And then real life kicks in. These little reflections are based on a set of psalms, the pilgrim songs they're called in the message, from Psalm 120 onwards. And today's reflection is based on three of these psalms, 123, 124, and 125. And the pilgrim has left home, he's begun his journey, he's had a dream of worship in Jerusalem. But these three psalms have a quite different feel to them, and they reflect something of the reality of life that our songwriter has faced as he's gone along his journey. Real life has kicked in a very painful way for him. He feels that life has kicked him about. Life has even kicked him in the teeth, the way he expresses it. He's been on the receiving end of rage and anger from his enemies. He's been on the receiving end of abusive behaviour of other kinds too. And life is tough. And he wonders where he should turn for help given the toughness of life. Now, you would need to be a cockeyed optimist to think that this is not our world which he's describing. And for many of us, life does feel as if at times it just kicks us in the teeth. There are things that happen that go wrong, and we just feel sometimes that it's almost one thing after another, and we have to face these difficult things. And lockdown has been like that for many people. And for many of us, our mental health has been a source of struggle as we've tried to deal with the way in which life has been hard for us. And we wonder at times where God is in all of this. But we really only understand God and his relationship to us in these kinds of ways when we look at Jesus and the kind of life that Jesus faced, particularly when he faced the cross. Here is Jesus facing the rage of his enemies. Here is Jesus certainly feeling, surely, that life is giving him a kicking, and if not kicking him in the teeth, the way the psalmist expresses it. And ultimately, Jesus gives his life for us on the cross, and at that moment expresses even then a sense of being God-forsaken. And so here is Jesus who understands what life is like and what life is like for us. He understands what it feels like when life is difficult. He understands what it feels like when we face the rage and anger of people who don't like what we stand for, or who treat us badly, or he understands what it's like when we're on the receiving end of scam phone calls and emails and things that cause us pain. And he understands what it feels like to be separated from people that we love. The songwriter in the Pilgrim songs cries out to God for mercy, asks God to help him, to give him the strength to deal with all of these difficult things. And he prays that prayer on the understanding that God understands him, God knows him, God is able to help him. And indeed God does answer his prayers, gives him the mercy that he needs, the resilience to be able to carry on his journey, the resilience to be able to keep believing even when life is hard, even when he feels that life has given him a kicking. Maybe a kind of strong way to express it. It may be something that you feel is a bit over the top, but there are many people in our world who feel that's exactly how life is for them. And here is God with us. Here is God listening to our cries for help. Here is God who is able to help us.